Welcome back. Welcome to day one of the Self-Talk Awareness Challenge. Hopefully, already after yesterday's challenge, you got to start writing down a lot of the things that you are catching yourself saying. I hope you're starting that journaling and that exercise. That's ongoing throughout the challenge. Just keep a running list of all of the things that you notice that you're saying to yourself. And then that meditation that I shared is a chance for you to work with that, to just stay in the pocket and be the observer rather than finding ourselves always being dragged from this way of feeling and this way of urgency or whatever else is behind those thoughts. Now, today's challenge is a little bit different. It's probably my favorite one of all 5 days because in this one, we're going to look at what we call ourselves. Yesterday was what we're saying to ourselves, and basically, tangentially to that, we're going to look at what we call ourselves. Now, we have been calling ourselves names since the very beginning, probably as early on as you can remember. And we have, throughout life, taken on dozens and maybe dozens of roles and titles. We love to explore our personality characteristics. So if you're like me, you've probably done all kinds of personality tests. So you probably know if you are where you are on your Enneagram or where you are on your Myers-Briggs or what Game of Thrones house you actually belong in. And this is all really fun too. But it can become clutter for the mind. All of these ideas and labels and characteristics and personas. And and these personas can become limiting in our possibility for ourselves. And so sometimes our growth gets stalled because what actually happens is we're telling ourselves, well, I'm not that. I've never been that person. I don't have that characteristic. I'm not patient enough, or I'm not uh, aware enough, or I'm not courageous enough, or whatever. It's all interwoven into what we say to ourselves, but it's stripped back one layer to the words and the phrases and the expressions that are used to basically control us. And it's not just, well, it's everything. It's not just what we call ourselves. It is also what other people have called us. And I mean the good stuff, and I mean the bad stuff. And whatever the bully called you in fifth grade, it's probably still sitting in there somewhere. We might not think that it's activated, and probably most of the time it's dormant. But maybe in a certain situation that feels a little familiar, that unconscious pattern that that particular name created in us does get re-triggered. And so, kind of like yesterday, without awareness of these things, it is unlikely to change. And I think this is why so often as we get older, it seems like our experiences in life get a little more narrow and a little more narrow and a little bit more narrow. It's like we're circling in on ourselves as we continue to pile on all these labels, and all these labels, a lot of them come with expectations. And so our goal with today's challenge is, and this is a very fun exercise, you're going to sit down for a dedicated period of time. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And you're going to just write down everything that you can think of when it comes to what you've been called or what you've called yourself. And I want you to think about just the basic general roles like parent, sister, daughter, brother, mother, all of that, pet owner. I'd like you to just, some of those things might seem a little bit more simple, but just so that we can get a picture of how much is actually affecting us. And then go to the labels: calm, peaceful, kind, thoughtful, confident, patient, helper, curious, courageous, creative, artist, dancer, musician, all of it. And then, of course, the bad names that you've been called by anybody or by yourself. And maybe some of those came up yesterday as you were noticing the way you talk to yourself. Go back as early as you can. Pull up your nicknames from childhood, pull up anything that you can remember being called. Again, like your enneagrams, write them down. Your astrological sign, write it down. Just so that you can get a picture of how much is impacting every single action and approach that we take in the world. We are so much more than this. And that's the awareness challenge of today, is that these labels and identities, they have piled on, probably a lot of it unconsciously, but certainly over time, without our express permission. They just do. And then they impact us. And the awareness for today is to remember that that's not really who we are. These are roles that we've taken on. Some of them have shifted, some of them have changed, some of them have died away, some of them are dormant, others are more active. Uh, but to simply remember that they're not who we are at the core. We are so much more than our labels, so much more than our identities, so much more than our jobs, so much more than our personality characteristics. We should be free to be so much more free emotionally and just in our being. We're supposed to be identifiable by our characteristics and maybe our roles, that we're supposed to be predictable, and we fall for it. And then we find ourselves always having to be, say, friendly and chatty and not giving ourselves permission to be. Shouldn't we all be free to be one way one day and another way another? Shouldn't we have a little bit more? I mean, wouldn't it be more human nature to have more volatility in our movements? Because here's the thing, if we don't allow ourselves the small volatility, just think about being in a boat and just the small waves. If we don't allow ourselves the small waves in our days, as the weeks pass and we suppress and we suppress and we suppress, eventually you get the tidal wave. And I said in the story earlier that when that happened to me, I ended up hurting people that I loved. And that, of course, is not something we want to happen. So this all affects us, and it affects those around us, and it affects our relationships. This is important work to root out and really understand. So the exercise today, I'm going to give you, just like yesterday, 3 levels of challenge. Just a reminder that there's no personal name calling for whatever you get done or whatever you don't get done. Just being here again is already such a success, and I'm so happy for you. And this program is here for you. There's no time limit on it. But now that you're here, at least carve out 20 minutes to do this work today. That's level 1. Carve out that 20 minutes to write it all down, brainstorm. Don't limit yourself. Don't self-suppress. Just write it all down. And then for your meditation today, I'm going to not tell you, I'm going to help you feel that you are so much more than the labels and the identities that you wear throughout the day. I'm going to take you through a meditation through the koshas. Koshas is a Sanskrit term for layers, and the layers that cover the body, and get down back to the soul, reconnect to that inner self, your higher self, your intuition, your core. So with that, I will let you go. Please post your comments, your feedbacks, your progress, your frustrations. Post it all in the Alchemist Cave community space. Looking forward to hearing from you.